From innovative heated carpets to brilliantly designed keyboards, it often feels like other nations have the coolest inventions. Thus, I've curated a list of the top 20 most intriguing products from around the globe you'll want to check out. Number 20. Japanese vending machines. So does aside, Japan is known for the wide variety of other products you can purchase in vending machines called Jidohan Beiki. These vending machines offer everything from eggs to hamburgers to beer. Forgot your necktie and need to get to a meeting? Just grab a new one from a vending machine. They even sell a barely legal mix of daw herbs that promise a few hours of interesting experiences. Stay away from these machines, though, as one woman died after smoking a batch in 2012. Number 19. Funky drink flavors. Japan has an interesting selection of sodas I'd like to try, particularly Pepsi varieties. A few years ago, they introduced a salty watermelon Pepsi, which would sound like an expensive cocktail if it wasn't for the Pepsi part. Just the name makes my mouth water. The soda giant. Also thought Japanese consumers might enjoy Ice Cucumber, Pepsi introduced in 2007. It's definitely one I'd like my taste buds to experience. Then in 2011, they released Pepsi Pink, a strawberry and milk-flavored beverage, which I'm guessing would taste glorious, a little like a carbonated strawberry milkshake. Another popular variety in Japan is Pepsi White, which apparently tastes like yogurt now. That's something I've got to taste. Number 18. Condiment tubes in Scandinavia. In Scandinavian countries like Sweden, a wide variety of foods come in. Toothpaste like tubes, mustard, and mayo are two examples of things I'm used to seeing in bottles. You can even get several kinds of cheese and bubble gum in a tube. As it turns out, the Scandinavians have the right idea. Because the product is squeezed out, very little air gets into the tube, making the food stay fresh for longer. This leads to less waste and less of that dried mustard crust on the outside of the bottle. However, I'm not sure I'd want to eat all the things they put in tubes in Sweden. They can keep that anchovy cream. It sounds a little fishy to me. Number 17. Candy. Here are two popular candies you can't get in America, but they taste absolutely delicious. First up, Gidub, which are chocolates filled with guava jelly and happiness from Costa Rica. Apparently, they're sweet with a little sugar crunch, but if you prefer the chewy sensation, you should try Percy Pig gummies from the UK. They're seriously one of the tastiest things I've ever eaten. Number 16. Clever ironing board. When I'm short on space, I often solve my problem by kicking everything under the bed. A South Korean inventor had a better idea, an ironing board that folds up and hangs on the wall. But it's not awkward because the bottom of the ironing board is actually a mirror. Users can iron their clothes, then see how they look in them. Number 15. Clever bench. South Korea is also home to the rolling bench. No, it doesn't roll away like a bed. The bench itself is made of wooden slats on a cylinder that turns with a crank. If it rains, you simply turn the crank and roll away the wet side, exposing the dry surface. Now, if only I could get a floor that did that every time I spill something. Number 14. Amazing cake cutter. Cake is a big deal in Finland, but the Finnish people don't have to deal with cutting a piece of cake, then struggling to get it on a plate before it falls apart. The moji, so cake server, is curved, and even though it's closed on both ends, it acts like tweezers, so you can squeeze the slice of cake as you remove it. It also cuts a piece of variable sizes, perfect for when you're on a diet, so you only want a little piece. Number 13. Champagne-flavored stuff. I like to live a champagne lifestyle on a beer budget. That's why I have to move to Denmark, where they sell champagne soda. Even better, you don't have to be 21 to buy it. The bad news is there's not actually any alcohol in it. And what if you're in the mood for a frozen treat? Champagne and chocolate-flavored popsicles are also common. Denmark may have just the right amount of luxury for my budget. Number 12. Whiskey-flavored condoms. For a slightly more sophisticated and adult gift, go to Scotland, land of Scotch whiskey-flavored condoms. They're called MC condoms, even though they have nothing to do with the place that sells burgers and fries. Come to think of it, that would make a great prize to put in an adult Happy Meal. Number 11. Utes. I've heard of the Mini Cooper, but what about the mini pickup truck in Australia? These are known as Utes, much smaller than the typical truck. They're similar to an El Camino, which fell out of popularity in America decades ago. They remained trendy in Australia and eventually evolved to have a pickup-style rear. Often this has a cover, so it operates like a trunk. Some Utes have even popped up in America, thanks to a Colorado company that pitches them as modern El Caminos. Some critics call them the mullet of the automobile world, but fans love the design and the size of the cute Utes. Number 10. Mosquito Oil. One thing, I don't find cute mosquitoes. Neither do people in Spain, where they have a handy plug-in mosquito oil device with polythin, an ingredient that keeps a room free of bugs. It's like a nightlight to drive away those flying monsters. Number 9. Heated carpet. My bedroom would also be more comfortable with this electric heated carpet available in Japan. No need to step on a cold floor, it's made by Panasonic, and the temperature can be adjusted up to 114 degrees. Not only is it stain resistant, it's also waterproof. Number 8. Home dry cleaning machine. I can't tell you how many times I've wished I had a dry cleaning machine at home. Usually right after I spill something on a dry, clean-only shirt in Japan. My clumsiness would be easier to deal with because they have the Aqua Home dry cleaning machine. It's front-loading and uses bacteria-killing chemicals to clean your clothes. So, despite the ironic name of Aqua, there's no water required to use the machine. Number 7. Futuristic Door. This Japanese door looks like something you'd see on Star Trek, an automatic door that doesn't just slide out of the way, but opens just enough for your size and shape to get through. Designed by Tanaka Seso, the door is made up of strips and uses infrared sensors to determine the size and shape of the person, animal, or object about to pass through. The door also has a security feature that identifies people and can refuse to open for those not on the owner's list. Aside from keeping out people you don't want to deal with, the door also reduces the amount of pesky things like pollen, bugs, and dirt that can get in through ordinary doors. Number 6. Chestnut Paste. If you love Nutella, get ready for the French version. Chestnut paste called crème de marrons de l'Ardèche. It's been popular in France since the late 1800s. The paste is made from steamed chestnuts, chestnut flakes, sugar, and vanilla like the hazelnut spread known as Nutella. It could be spread on toast or crepes since this is France. It's also sometimes used as a topping for ice cream or spread between layers of cake. While it does have a delicious taste on your tongue, unfortunately its name doesn't quite roll off the tongue like Nutella does. Number 5. Funky chip flavors. I thought American potato chip flavors were getting ridiculous, with Lay's encouraging consumers to submit new flavors like chicken and waffles, but apparently they've got nothing on British potato chips. Walker's makes a cheddar cheese and bacon chip, as well as a sweet chili chicken flavor and Builder's breakfast flavor, which apparently tastes like a full English breakfast. Wait, does that logo look familiar to anyone else? If so, it's because Lay's bought Walker's and rebranded it in 1989. They decided to keep the old name to ensure brand loyalty in the UK, but that didn't stop them from sending some of their famously crazy flavors overseas. Meanwhile, Yorkshire Crisp offers Chardonnay wine vinegar chips because that just sounds so much more sophisticated than salt and vinegar like we call them on this side of the pond. I'm not sure I'm suave enough to eat those, but I'll definitely be avoiding the haggis and black pepper flavor from Mackey's. Number 4. Toilet sinks. I have to applaud Japan for a few more amazing products, starting with their toilet technology. Japanese toilets are known for having lots of buttons, and this one even features a bidet that plays music to drown out the sound of the user taking care of business. There's also this amazing sink-toilet combo where the sink is built on top of the toilet and the wastewater flows down and collects in the cistern. When you then flush the toilet, the water you use to wash your hands is recycled into the toilet for your next flush. Now that's smart. Number 3. Smart trains. Japan is also known for its fast, efficient, and comfortable bullet trains, which we really need. Some even have onboard spa to help people relax during their trip. In 2014, JR East launched the first bullet train with 2-foot spas, each of which seats 4 people. Travelers are allowed to soak their toes for 15 minutes per trip. Number 2, street crossings. This is another thing that Japanese have figured out pretty well. At home, we can usually only cross from one street to another. So if we need to get across to another street diagonally, we need to cross 2 streets. In Japan, though, they have diagonal street crossings to make it all so much more efficient. The most famous one is the Shibuya crossing, which is Tokyo's most iconic intersection, and you can see why they need it, because it gets bombarded by thousands of people every day. Number 1, crazy keyboard. And the first prize goes once again to Japan for this drum set. Wait, what is that again? No, it's not a jump set. It's a keyboard. This is a bit complicated and was developed by the Google Japanese Input Development Team in an attempt to make the keyboard more efficient, although not currently widespread. The keyboard may be helpful if you type in Japanese. According to Japanese reports, banking on these sets of keys in a pattern is so much simpler than using the standard QWERTY keyboard. The keyboard uses characters in the Japanese language that can be entered with a single keystroke. So instead of having to press conversion keys all the time, characters can be inputted much faster. It also supports emoticon, so you can easily express your feelings with a single shot and to save you from stretching to hit the keys. They use a set of drumsticks to hit the keys, but forget that. Where do I find the delete key on this thing? Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it. So if you stumble upon a Japanese office of drummers, they're likely just using the computer. The team explains that they plan to start selling these things directly as soon as possible. Which item caught your eye the most? And have you stumbled upon any unusual products in your travels? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for tuning in.